Welcome back to Uncharted 1 on Brutal Difficulty. This is Chapter 4. It's titled Plane Wrecked. You know, I just realized that a lot of the Uncharted games actually have very similar chapter names. You have Plane Wrecked in this game, you have Train Wrecked in the second game. I forget what it is in the third game, but it's something real punny. But as you can probably tell by the length of this video, it's a real long one. And it's also one of the heaviest gunfight chapters in the game. This is going to be the first chapter that's really going to make you think to yourself, can I do this? And if you can get past this chapter, congratulations, your reward is another chapter that's also filled to the brim with gunfights that's going to make you hate yourself. But you'll be one step closer to getting that gold trophy. Or giving up, you know, whichever one happens first. So right at the start here, after we climb up all this nonsense, we're going to head up to a nice wall that we're going to completely own the hell out of everyone by using the cover trick. So we're just going to come up over here, and we're going to have ourselves a nice, good old fun time with our happy, family-friendly pirate friends.
Here they come.
That will have absolutely no problem shooting us in less than 2 seconds flat before we can say oops. I think I said in the Chapter 2 video that the hardest chapters in this game are chapters 4, 5, as well as a couple of other early game chapters. God, I can't remember. I had them written down. I can never remember them. But the church fights are also really terrible. I hate those fights too. I think Chapter 15 is another really pretty rough spot. I think it's Chapter 15 at least. As I said before, I can never remember the chapter numbers. I know them by picture. I don't know them by their actual numbers. But this chapter, oh my goodness, it took such a long time to actually record. I think it took me about an hour and a half to get through this one chapter, whereas the first 2 chapters got done in about 30 minutes, so it wasn't really all that big of a deal. But we got some grenades now. Grenades are going to be your saving grace in this playthrough, because you can kill a lot of enemies with very little relative effort. The only problem is that when you're actually in cover and you try throwing grenades, Nathan kind of goes out of cover for like a second, and you get shot in that 1 second, so it kind of makes grenades kind of useless. As a matter of fact, I generally tend to forget that I even have them in the first place, rather than using them. So if you see me with like a full inventory of them and not using them, odds are that's probably the reason. Either that or because I'm trying to save him, but, you know, odds are I'm trying to forget him. But this is the first pretty challenging firefight of the entire game, in my opinion. Because you have 3 waves of enemies, and all of them can kill you really fast. So what I do is, after dropping down initially, I like to come over here to the left side behind this wall, and I like to shoot this dude. Unfortunately, I'm a terrible shot, and I almost die. As a result, good job, Past Chris. You're such a wonderful player at this game. Get good, son. So one thing you're going to realize about the enemies in this game is they do this really dumb, stupid thing, and I call them Usain Bolt because they're fucking assholes, and I need to come up with dumb names for all the enemies, right? What they do is they will take a pistol, and then they will start running at you like some random idiot trying out for the Olympics. And they run so fast that you can hardly keep up with them sometimes. And if they come around a corner, you're practically hosed, and there's nothing you can do about it. You're gonna get shot, and you're gonna die, and you're gonna get angry. Eventually, you just realize that they just come after you. Like that! See, like that! He didn't shoot me. On any other run, I probably would have died. But no. Oh, that was real close. But I'm sitting here like an idiot, waiting for them to come to me, hopefully charging at me, making sure that they just take a nice big old pistol bullet in the face, so I can get rid of them. That tripwire that you saw just there, moment you hit that and you hear the guys be like, "Oh, Nathan Drake is here. We need to kill him." You need to get back to this wall and start cover tricking their tits off. Because otherwise, you're just going to be in the middle of that courtyard, and it's not going to be a good time for anyone involved. So just don't bother with that. Just sit in this position, kill all of them, make them all come to you, shoot them, give them a nice, healthy serving of lead in their face. There's going to be a dude up there on that ledge that you saw me looking at earlier. You can maybe see him if you squint hard enough in the video screen. But something weird happened in this run. So as you can probably hear right now, there's a little musical crescendo going on right now. And after shooting these 2 dudes, it's going to... Oh no, I guess it's not quite yet. But after I kill all the enemies in this last wave, there's going to be kind of like the big finale piece of the music that's normally supposed to tell you that all the enemies are dead. And everything points to all the enemies being dead. You know, I go out in the open for like a good 30 seconds or whatever, and nothing shoots me. And then, as I'm scrounging around for ammo, I get shot by someone. And I kid you not, I had like a 5-minute standoff against this one enemy that seemingly spawned out of nowhere, and of course I died. But the problem is, when I respawned, he wasn't there. So you're proud to hear it. Hear that? That means all the enemies are dead. And as you can tell by Nathan's running animation, and eventually when he puts his pistol away, like that, all the enemies are dead. And of course, I pick up a really bad gun. The moment I picked up that AK, I got shot. And I had a 5-minute standoff against a dude that when I respawned just then, he didn't exist. The game dropped a checkpoint, but still apparently had an enemy lying in wait. I don't know what happened in that run that spawned that enemy on top of me, but something happened. I'm half tempted to actually post that one dude trying to shoot at me, because it was 6 minutes of me hiding behind a corner being like, how the hell am I going to do this? Because I had like 10 pistol bullets to work with, and I tried shooting him and it didn't work. Eventually I picked up that shotgun you saw me had earlier, and I tried hitting him with that, and obviously because it's brutal difficulty, they shoot faster than me, of course I died. But it was like some freaking Call of Duty World at War shit. You know, like that one level in Vendetta? Or yeah, Vendetta, the sniper duel. It was like that for like 5 minutes. It was great, but it was also terrible at the same time because I died. If I had somehow won that battle, I would have kept it in because it was really stupid, but my post has a fill video, not sure. But after all the enemies are dead, be certain to pick up all the ammo, because we're about to get into that one sequence that you all probably clicked the video to watch, and it's the gate sequence. The other sequence is probably the plane sequence all the way at the end of the video, but we'll get there eventually. But this gate sequence is horrible. Opening up the gate at the start is a work of art, because the first time that I did this sequence, I opened up that gate, and I got shot dead immediately. So the moment that I get close, yeah, there it is. Look at that. Magic. I didn't get shot. It was perfectly happy and wonderful. It was like Alice in Wonderland or some fairy tale nonsense or something like that. Make sure you kill those two guys, run into the middle of there, and trigger all the enemies. From there, you're going to go to the opposite side of the gate that you shot all those people from before, and you're just going to hide out here. You're going to get like 4 Usain Bolts just come in and try to ruin your day, though, so make sure you kill them. But otherwise, it's not all that big of a deal. You're just going to kill all of them, and it's going to be all fun and games. But I'm being incredibly tentative, being very patient, making sure that they all come to me, picking my shots wisely. Standard brutal fare, 101. Make sure you don't die. Oh, that was real close. I should have died so hard. I always forget about that guy. I always think it's safer than it really is, and I run out like an idiot and almost die. Now, for those of you who were wondering, I was stuck here on this particular sequence for about 20 minutes. And on a sequence this short, you really start to feel it after a while. And on my crushing playthrough, I think I was here for about an hour. It was crazy. So I'm slowly inching my way over here because I know that there's a dude standing behind there. Because not only can you ambiently hear him because his movements rustle against the nice foliage that's been growing here. But once you see him, shoot him, because chances are he'll try to throw a grenade at you, because that's usually what he does. Other times he just kind of shoots you dead, but what can you do? And he'll blow himself up. Now we can come around and pick up all the ammo. Tripping this tripwire, magic, I tell ya. Bam, you see that? We hit it. I can't begin to tell you the number of times I got all the way up to that little stone that triggered it, and just instantly died. Getting all the way back here, also a pretty big dice roll. Sometimes you just die getting back here, and there really isn't a whole lot you can do about it, but this is what I did to get it to work, so this is what I'm putting in the video. So I just hang out back here over to where this gate was, and I just shoot them as they all come here. The good news is that the 2 shotgun dudes or whatever that come in to try to hit you with their lovely, lovely shotguns can't hit you. Or I should say, they can't kill you, because on brutal difficulty, they actually do have damage modifiers to their shotguns. They will not one-shot kill you, if you are far enough away. If you're close enough, which is usually all of the time, they will one-shot kill you. However, if you are at range, there is the possibility that you will tank a shot from them and survive. That was a beautiful grenade. I gave it at least a 7.8 out of 10 for that dude. Russian judge probably gave him an 8.5 for that jump, but we're just going to keep on doing what we're doing. The music's still going, and I can hear them on the other side of that gate because they're still talking. And I'm just going to wait for them to come around, and I'm going to shoot them in their stupid, ugly face.
That had to hurt.
And we're just going to wait for that lovely little musical piece telling us that all the enemies are dead. Come on, Usain Bolt. Yeah, yeah, nice. Got him. I think that was it. Yep, that's it. So once you hear that nice little musical cue, you're all set and ready to go. And congratulations, you've done probably the first hardest sequence in the game.
Come in handy.
There are a couple of them that you need to know about, but that is the first really challenging gunfight. And if you can do that, have some confidence, because a lot of later sequences, you're going to be fine. But this chapter and the next chapter are going to be what really determine it, and that's one of the few firefights in the game that will really tell you, can you do this? And we'll be coming up to another one pretty shortly. The other really challenging firefight in this level, for my money, is when you're trying to get to the plane that you crash. That's the other really challenging firefight that'll teach you whether or not you can do this, or at the very least, if you have the resolve to get through the rest of the game. So we're going to do a bit of platforming, and we're going to move on. Now, I've got a couple of grenades that I have saved, and something that you can do to thin numbers in this next sequence is hanging off of this ledge right here, and chucking a grenade up and over that little archway there, and getting a bunch of them right at the start. Unfortunately, because I'm just too awesome, I just headshot all of them right at the start, instead of wasting grenades, because I'm just that good. Once I hear that shotgun dude start to come for me, I come back over to this ledge, and I just let them come to me, and I'll shoot them. So we're just going to sit here. Nice, got him. Same thing for this shotgun dude right here. Oh no, it's an AK dude, I'm sorry. Okay. Oh, yeah, God. Oh, yeah. That's so good. I love that. Just the punchiness, responsiveness is so good. Whoa, did you see that? You see that shotgun just go flying everywhere? Man, that was insane. But that dude I just punched out there, it was unbelievable. I couldn't believe that happened on a run where I actually made it. As a matter of fact, let's have this. I propose a drinking game to everybody who's watching this playthrough at home. Every time I get into a fist fight with someone on this game and I don't die, take a drink. If I get into critical in the middle of that fist fight and also still don't die, take 2 drinks. And we'll have that be the drinking game for this playthrough, because you're not supposed to be getting into fist fights at all. You're also not supposed to be just randomly running around without being in cover, apparently, because I just nearly ate. But we're just going to sit here and shoot these 2 guys down. I didn't see him shoot me that time. Man, it's unbelievable. But at least we didn't die here. That's the important part. Instead, I happen to die in a really plebby part of this sequence. There we go. Got him. So we're just going to move on and live up to the Uncharted tradition of having every single platform that Nathan Drake attempts to go on just fall apart underneath him. Just typical stuff. Man, that'd be really inconvenient. Getting around his house must be really terrible if everything breaks underneath him. So there's going to be a transition up here, and chances are you're going to guess where I died, and you're going to be wrong. The moment I landed on top of this rock, I jumped to the right like an idiot without realizing that you're supposed to have this one little block fall on you first. And I fell off the waterfall like an idiot. Not to the truck. And I thought that was a fantastic death. Definitely not my most prideful moment in the game. But I'd love to know how I got shot just then. Like, even in the actual run where I got it, it's just like, how did I get shot there? couldn't possibly have seen me. Hanging off a ledge is usually supposed to be the safe spot. Oh well. Climb on that truck. Barely escaped death again for like the 80th time this run. And we're just going to move on. There are going to be 2 more dudes that spawn on top of the waterfall over to the left, which is why I'm waiting here a bit to make sure that I can maybe get a shot off on them before I totally just get massacred by them at some point, probably. But just make those bullets count. But we're coming up to the other hard sequence of the chapter, and that's the plane fight. And I find that the first part of the plane fight is the hardest out of all of it, because you're going to watch an attempt where I must have died like 30 times getting the first part of that plane fight just right. And then every part after that, I got it on my first attempt. I don't even know what I did magically, but apparently that's how dice rolls work on this difficulty. Sometimes you get through a sequence, you're just stuck there for like an hour. Other times, you get through it first try, you won't even realize it's hard, and then you'll watch somebody else complain about it for like 45 minutes as they're dying to it over and over and over again. But that's how these games work. Everybody has their own personal demons that they have to conquer through each different segment. Just because you think a sequence is hard doesn't mean it will be hard for other people. But this is going to be some weird checkpointing right here. The moment you get on top of this cliff, you're going to get a checkpoint, because it's going to show you this nice little scene of, the plane being like, oh my gosh, wow, Elena has to be here somewhere, but, yada, yada, yada. But there's a checkpoint right there, so you're going to see a transition, but then the moment you touch the ground, you get another checkpoint. And the worst part is that once you hit the floor there, the checkpoint spawns you on the floor, so you can't just hide out on top of that cliff and just shoot people. I tried that for about 10 minutes and I couldn't get it to work. So instead I just had to suck it up and just sit down here. Also, I give that an 8.2. Russian judge gives it a 6.1, the bastard. I don't know if you guys saw that, but that explosion totally cock-blocked my shot there. Totally would have owned that dude if the rubble didn't just completely block my bullet. That's some, like, Fallout luck stat of 11 right there. But this first sequence kind of sucks because you don't really have a good place to put yourself so that you can really shoot all these guys. So what I do is I kind of just stick myself back here and pray. Lots of praying went into the making of this run in order for me to survive half the sequences that you're going to see me win. Because we have about 4 or 5 people all the way in the back there, and they're all shooting at me. And if 2 of them are just like, man, I really hate that Nathan Drake guy, you'll just kind of combust, and there's nothing you can really do about it. Oftentimes it'll happen before you can even get a shot off. So you just gotta make do with what you got. If you see an opportunity to get to that pillar that you see slightly over to my left, do it. Because that is a very good position of power to put yourself in order for the second half of this. So I'm going to shoot this guy that's right in front, and I think I'm going to book it. Yup, alright, go, 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 don't die, don't die. Pray a bit more. Alright, we made it. So now from here, we're in a pretty good spot in order to take out the rest of the enemies that are in this sequence. There are also a couple of explosive barrels hidden around here that I don't really shoot, at least I don't think, because I'm an idiot. And make sure to take advantage of that. So again, we're just going to be patient, we're going to make them come out, and we're going to shoot them. But there's a dude over to my right. I'm not certain if you can see him just yet. Oh no, this is the start of the next sequence. So when they start spawning, I like to chuck a grenade. Of course, I underthrow, always. Because the grenades, admittedly, I wish the arcing on the grenades was better. Because they always seem to underthrow whenever I throw them. Well, that was beautiful. You can shoot enemies while they're trying to throw grenades at you, to which they will drop them, and then they will just die. It's amazing. It helps you save ammo. It helps you save bullets, honestly. The only problem is that if you try to shoot someone that's throwing a grenade at the same time someone else is shooting at you, odds are you're dead. Oh, I do shoot the barrels. Okay, good. Past Chris was actually smart about fighting things in this game for once. But I think that's it for the first part of the sequence. Or not. Okay, I could be 100% wrong. But did you see that? I got shot by a dude with a shotgun. Barely even hit me. Barely did a thing. But now that we've killed all the enemies, we're all set to climb up into the plane. So we're just going to go around, pick up some ammo, make sure that we have as many bullets as possible for this next fight. Ew, gross. No, ew, not the shotgun. Chris, no, get rid of it. Ah! You don't like the shotgun. It's great for blind firing, but in terms of it as an actual weapon, I don't really like it. I think the the Spaz shotgun. I think it's called the SAS-12 because they can't actually call it the Spaz, I think. It's a way better gun. It's got more bullets and it does more damage, so automatically better in my eyes. I think it's also got a faster reload speed too, so it has that as well. So now that we've gotten a bunch of ammo, we're going to climb up here, have a little cutscene inside the plane, and you're going to watch a first attempt. And this sequence is probably going to be a lot harder than I make it look, but the moment that this sequence starts up, drop down out of the plane, and immediately, as soon as it starts, as soon as you see dudes rushing down that ridge, you're just going to rush over back to that pillar that we were at before. And if you're quick enough, you can completely control this entire sequence very easily. Just shoot them in the face, everything's all nice and good, and they'll all die because they come down maybe 1 or 2 dudes at a time. You can shoot them pretty easily with headshots or just normal body shots, and you can control this really well. Overall, no complaints with this part of the sequence. That first part where you gotta just kill 7 dudes right at the start, and if you die, is just horrible, and I really don't like it. The second part, not that hard. I actually did not think it was all that bad. Of course, now that I say that, the next, like, 4 people who tried the sequence are gonna be like, it didn't go anywhere near as well for me as you did it here. No, that's the nature of this difficulty, so it happens. You're gonna have a sequence where you get through it on your first try, and I'm here for like an hour. Of course, I would still like to meet that guy who beat the water room on brutal difficulty on his first try, because that guy just is way better than any of us. But once again, we're just going to stick ourselves right next to this pillar, use the ever-living hell out of the cover trick, and just shoot everyone as they're coming along. Of course, sometimes the cover trick is really weird. Like, you see this? I'm hitting something with my bullets, but there's nothing there. Like, you can clearly see I'm doing this correctly, but apparently the level geometry just extends out farther than I think it does. Which is a bit disappointing, but we'll make do with it. This is fine, don't worry about it. So we're coming up to the end of the sequence here, and I think there's only like 2 dudes left. One assault rifle dude and a shotgun dude that's going to show up a bit later after we kill all of them. And we're in a pretty dire spot. I've only got like 7 bullets left in my AK. Come on, Chris. You can do it. Come on. You just got to headshot this dude, and then you're done. You really don't want to have to scrounge around for another gun at this point. Oh man, we got 1 bullet left. Can I do it? Of course I can. But that's it for this sequence. So you're going to pick up a brand new AK, get 34 bullets instead of 3. Really wish you could ammo consolidate. Maybe if I ever do Uncharted 2 Brutal, I'll tell you guys about ammo consolidation because it really helps on Brutal. Now, coming up is one of my favorite deaths that I ever had in this playthrough. So you come through this archway, and then there's a dude that's supposed to trip this tripwire up here, and then get completely owned by that spike trap. The first time I ran through that archway and got there, that shotgun dude owned the shit out of me. It was awesome. Like, before I even remembered he was even there, he shot me dead. And then during the death animation where Nathan Drake, like, falls over or whatever, he got hit by the spike trap and he died. If anybody ever asked me to submit, like, a 10-second clip of brutal difficulty summarized in just, like, a really short period of time, I'd send them that death because it 100% encompasses this difficulty. Just really quick, you will die by enemies before you even realize that they're even there, before they even have a chance to die. So this next part, we're going to stealth kill a couple of dudes. We're going to kill these first 2 dudes, and I didn't even stealth kill this second dude. I just kind of like, Like you can see I was trying to combo him there, but it just didn't happen. So once you kill those first 2 dudes, it'll kick off. You need to kill that China Lake dude as soon as possible, because he will really ruin your good time. I'm also trying to use the tripwire traps against the enemies, because they're actually surprisingly effective at getting rid of them. Like that dude right there. That was beautiful. Look how easy that was. There are going to be 2 more dudes that come out, and I'm somehow not going to die immediately as soon as they come out. And man, that was such a wasted barrel. We're going to chuck this nade. It's going to kill both of them. Look at that. Beautiful. 9 out of 10. And that's going to be a checkpoint right there. So you're just going to see a little transition here. This tripwire is also pretty magical. So you're just going to slowly inch your way out, and the moment you see those dudes rushing out over those cliffs, come back over here to this wall right here. and we're going to take the rest of them down. You can use a couple of the tripwires to your advantage if you happen to get a little lucky, but for the most part, you're just going to have to use the cover trick, headshot them, make sure you get rid of them as soon as possible, and don't die. Like that. I mean, what was I supposed to do? But just, oh boy, oh god, there's a dude right next to me. Punch him, punch him, punch him, punch him. Yeah, take a shot. But we're coming up on the last bit of the sequence. I think there's only a couple dudes left. Just dividing and conquering, making sure we get them, being patient, not getting too greedy. Because that's going to be a thing that gets you killed, is trying to do shots, or at the very least too many shots, in series that you know you possibly can't. So I think with that, that's all the enemies. Well, I'm not dead yet, so that clearly means all the enemies are dead. So there you go. That is Chapter 4 completed on brutal difficulty. Unless there's like 1 or 2 dudes left. Oh my gosh, there are dudes left. What is this? Game, come on. I'm trying to do an outro here. Apparently there were a bunch of them. They must have been really late to the party or something like that. Clearly they didn't get the invitation sent by glorious Nathan Drake. I mean, who would ever not want to go to his parties? He's such a cool dude. But now all the enemies are dead. Admittedly, that's actually a thing that gets you killed more often than you'd think, thinking all the enemies are dead when in reality they're not. But that's it! Congratulations! You've done Chapter 4 of Uncharted 1 on Brutal. That bit sucks. Congratulations, you are now out of the frying pan and straight into the fire. Because the next chapter of this game is absolutely terrible and filled to the brim with amazing firefights that you will never forget for the rest of your life because they're that great. So tune in next time for when we handle the real big mountain trial that is Chapter 5, The Fortress. If you can get past this next chapter, I think you can beat the game on brutal difficulty. So I hope you guys are ready. Put on your big boy pants next time for when we handle Chapter 5. I'll see you then.